In ancient geography, Pamphylia was the region in the south of Asia Minor, between Lycia and Cilicia, extending from the Mediterranean to Mount Taurus. It was bounded on the north by Pisidia, and was therefore a country of small extent, having a coastline of only about 120 kilometers with a breadth of about 50 kilometers. Under the Roman administration, the term Pamphylia was extended so as to include Pisidia and the whole tract up to the frontiers of Phrygia and Lycaonia, and in this wider sense it is employed by Ptolemy. Name. The name Pamphylia comes from the Greek pi alpha mu phi epsilon lambda iota alpha, itself from pi alpha mu phi epsilon lambda omicron sigma, literally, of mingled tribes or races, a compound of pi mu, neuter of pi sigma, all, plus phi epsilon lambda eta, race, tribe. Herodotus derived its etymology from a Dorian tribe, the Pamphyli, who were said to have colonized the region. The tribe, in turn, was said to be named after Pamphilus, son of Igemios. Origins of the Pamphylians. The Pamphylians were a mixture of aboriginal inhabitants, immigrant Cilicians and Greeks who migrated there from Arcadia and Peloponnese in the 12th century BC. The significance of the Greek contribution to the origin of the Pamphylians can be attested alike by tradition and archaeology, and Pamphylia can be considered a Greek country from the early Iron Age until the early Middle Ages. There can be little doubt that the Pamphylians and Pisidians were the same people, though the former had received colonies from Greece and other lands, and from this cause, combined with the greater fertility of their territory, had become more civilized than their neighbors in the interior. But the distinction between the two seems to have been established at an early period. Herodotus, who does not mention the Pisidians, enumerates the Pamphylians among the nations of Asia Minor, while Ephorus mentions them both, correctly including the one among the nations on the coast, the other among those of the interior. A number of scholars have distinguished in the Pamphylian dialect important isoglosses with both Arcadian and Cypriot, which allow them to be studied together with the group of dialects sometimes referred to as Achaean, since it was settled not only by Achaean tribes but also colonists from other Greek-speaking regions, Dorians and Aeolians. The legend related by Herodotus and Strabo, which ascribed the origin of the Pamphylians to a colony led into their country by Amphilochus and Calchas after the Trojan War, is merely a characteristic myth. History. The region of Pamphylia first enters history in Hittite documents. In a treaty between the Hittite great king Tidaliya IV and his vassal, the king of Tarhuntassa, we read of the city, Parha, and the Castoria River. The first historical mention of Pamphylians is among the group of nations subdued by the Mermenid kings of Lydia. They afterwards passed in succession under the dominion of the Persian and Hellenistic monarchs. After the defeat of Antiochus III in 190 BC, they were included among the provinces annexed by the Romans to the dominions of Eumenes of Pergamum, but somewhat later they joined with the Pisidians and Cilicians in piratical ravages, and Side became the chief center and slave mart of these freebooters. The Pamphylians became largely Hellenized in Roman times, and have left magnificent memorials of their civilization at Perga, Aspendos and Side. As of 1911, the district was largely peopled with recent settlers from Greece, Crete and the Balkans, a situation which changed considerably as a result of the disruptions attendant on the fall of the Ottoman Empire and the war between Greece and Turkey in the 1920s. List of Pamphylians. Diodorus of Aspendos, Pythagorean philosopher. Apollonius of Perga, astronomer, mathematician. Artemidorus of Perga, Proxenus in Oropos. Etos from Aspendos, Ptolemaic commander, founder of Arsinoe. Nasses from Side, sculptor. Orestes from Aspendos, Proxenus in Dreros. Thymelis of Aspendos, Stadion running race victor in Olympics 176 BC, Apollonios from Aspendos, Ptolemaic commander, Proxenus in Lappa and Aptera, Asclepiades from Perga, physician honored by the people of Seleucia, Plancia Magna from Perga, influential citizen, benefactress, high priestess of Artemis, Menedora from Sicyon, magistrate and benefactor, Xenon from Aspendos, architect of the Aspendos theatre, Apollonius of Aspendos, poet, Aurelia Paulina from Perga, prominent noblewoman of Syrian origin, donator, high priestess of Artemis, Probus from Side, martyr, Philip of Side, historian, Matrona of Perga, saint, abbess of Constantinople, Antonii Casimatas from Sicyon, patriarch of Constantinople, archaeological sites, Antalya, Aspendos, Aetna, Eurymedon Bridge at Aspendos, a Roman bridge which was reconstructed by the Seljuks and follows a zigzag course over the river, Eurymedon Bridge at Zelgay, a Roman bridge, Perga, Side, Sicyon, episcopal sees. Ancient episcopal sees of the Roman province of Pamphylia, prima listed in the Annuario Pontifico as titular sees. Coralia, Casa in Pamphylia, Colibrasis, Coricesium, Cotena, Dales and Dus in Pamphylia, Aetna, Isba, Lib, Orimna, Zelgay, Semni, Side, the Metropolitan Archbishopric, Saedra, ancient episcopal sees of the Roman province of Pamphylia Secunda listed in the Annuario Pontifico as titular sees, and Ada, Ariesis, Aspendus, Italian Pamphylia, Codrula, Colbasa, Comima, Cremna, Eudoches, Hadrian, Isinda, Lagina, Lycinia, Magidus, Maximianopolis in Pamphylia, Paliopolis in Pamphylia, Panamoticus, Perga, Metropolitan Archbishopric, Pednalicis, Pogla, Silium, Cinda, Termessis, Tribena, Verba, ancient episcopal sees of the Roman province of Pamphylia Tertia listed in the Annuario Pontifico as titular sees. Co-trader, Metropolitan, Archdiocese, Leontopolis in Pamphylia,